Hey friends, hope you guys are doing good tonight. Tonight I'm going to share with you guys the things I do these days to stay out of labral tear hip pain, okay? And so I want to share my experience with you so you guys don't have to go through all the trial and error that I went through, and you can fast track your way out of labral tear hip pain, okay? Now, like I said, I just didn't have a labral tear. I had a macerated labrum. I was missing bone and cartilage from the edge of my left hip socket, okay? It was really bad, and I had that Marcaine anesthetic injection, which is known to destroy cartilage, okay? So, the things that I have discovered that now these days, you know how on my channel I have those glute strengthening exercises, you know, to strengthen glutes and get it and help reduce labral tear hip pain. I don't even do those anymore, right? Because what I do is I incorporate my glute strengthening into my exercise, because for me, like two of the most important things is pumping the joint every day to get that synovial fluid interacting with the bloodstream to reduce the inflammation in the joint, so that the inflammation can be pumped from the synovial fluid out through the blood, okay? And that can only be done through moving the joint, okay? Because that's how the cartilage is nourished and all that. You have to move your joint, okay? And I know that's difficult when you're in so much pain. Like for me, I couldn't even weight bear at one point. Like I was thinking, how the hell do I do this? And then, but I find that, but the other thing is you have to glute strengthen to pull that femur back off the front of your labrum, which is often where the damage is. You know, you have to get that glute strength back so it pulls the femur and the hip joint back into a better orientation, right? And the other important thing is, and so I achieve both those things, glute strengthening and pumping the joint, into exercise now, right? So like I said, I don't do any of those glute strengthening exercises. What I do is now the important thing is every time I walk, I strike my heel first when my foot hits the ground, because that activates my glutes. I've just noticed that by trial and error, right? And so when I go for a walk, when I walk the dogs, I make sure I'm always striking my heel first on the ground. But to really get your glutes strong, when I walk upstairs, I walk up every second stair, and I always make sure my heel is hitting the stair, okay? Because, you know, sometimes if you walk upstairs, just the front of your foot can hit the stair, but no, I make sure the heel is hitting the stair, and I walk up every second stair, and I notice that really strengthens the glutes more than just walking up every step, you know? Or I walk up hills, and I make sure I'm striking my heel with every step as I walk up the hill, and that really activates my glutes, strengthens my glutes as I'm pumping my joint, walking up the hill. And another thing I find that really strengthens my glutes while I'm pumping my joint is walking in soft sand at the beach. And every time I take a step in the soft sand, I strike my heel first, and that's tough, but that really pumps the joint, and that really strengthens the glutes while pumping the joint. That soft sand beach walking, it really gets the muscles around the joint strong, okay? But, you know, if you're doing this when your pelvis is out of alignment, that can sort of propagate a bad alignment. So, you know, if I was in really bad labral tear hip pain, what I would do is I would keep my pelvis in alignment. Now, on my channel, I have a video on how to realign your sacroiliac joints, how to realign your pubic symphysis, and how to improve the alignment of your spine, which also influences the alignment of your sacrum, which also dictates how stable the structural alignment of your sacroiliac joints are, okay? So if I was you and I was in a lot of pain, probably every second day or every day, depending on how much time you got, I'd be working on my spine with those stretches. I'd be realigning my pelvis with those simple yet effective techniques that I show you in my videos. And then, if I lived in New York, I'd go to the nearest high-rise building, like the Empire State Building, and I'd walk up the stairs from floor to roof, and I'd strike my heel walking up the stairs on every second step, okay, till I got to the top. And then I would go home and I would get some fresh turmeric, and I would put that in a fresh juice, and I would drink that, okay? So because I find that fresh turmeric is actually really highly anti-inflammatory, and if you can't get fresh turmeric, you know, here in Australia I can get fresh turmeric pretty much all the time, organic, but if you couldn't, you could get organic turmeric powder and try that. I haven't tried it, but I guess it works because my friend took it and it worked for her. And the other thing I would do, but I have been doing for 8 years, is have a really healthy diet. Like I'm what's called an overt fat-free vegan. So, or I'm a a high carb, low fat vegan. Okay, I actually have another YouTube channel called Aussie Vegan Gardener. And on that channel you see the type of food I eat, right? Heaps of vegetables, heaps of green smoothies, green juices, lots of starches, no animal protein, 0 oils. I've started eating a bit of seaweed, which has salt in it, but generally I don't add any added salt. And I've been doing that for 8 years, okay? And although that diet didn't get me out of labral tear hip pain, I think like not clogging up your bloodstream with oil. And before you guys come at me with healthy oils, I recommend you watch the documentary Forks Over Knives, and you look at doctors John McDougall, Corbel Esselstyn, Colin T. Campbell, Neil Barnard, Michael Greger at nutritionfacts.org. He's got a YouTube channel. Before you come at me and talk about healthy oils, because don't get me started about that, okay? Because I don't touch oils, right? I find that they're absolutely the most toxic things you can consume, alongside 99.9% of supplements, okay, or nutritional supplements. Real food is the way to go. Real unprocessed, organic, whole foods, okay, and juices and smoothies, lots of greens, okay. And that again will help your body to pump out the inflammation in your joint, okay. So yeah, so that's my experience. And like I don't expect it to happen overnight. You think of a gymnast, you know, they don't become super flexible overnight. You think of a bodybuilder, they don't become super flexible overnight. Like it takes time to build up your joint, build up the strength around your joint, and get that inflammation out of your joint. And it's a bit like housework, you know. I find that if I don't do it, the pain does start to sort of fall back, you know, but never as bad as it was back then, you know. But I've got 2 dogs, so I'm forced to take them walking nearly every day, okay? So I'm forced into this exercise to pump the joint and strengthen the glutes every day, right? And, you know, every now and again I'll realign my pelvis if I feel like it's sitting a bit out of alignment, and I'll work on my spine, okay? And then when I'm not so lazy, like I've got turmeric at the moment, but I'm not juicing it. But, you know, I should put it in a juice tomorrow, okay? But anyway, like I said, I don't even really think about my hip on a daily basis now, whereas, like, you know, early on in this channel, I was seriously, like I said, sort of before I started this channel, I was very seriously considering suicide because I just couldn't take the pain. I could never get a hip replacement, you know, and I just thought I was going to have to live with this hell for the rest of my life. And it literally feels like a miracle that where I've come to, and that's why I made this channel. I want to share with you guys so you don't have to go through that horrible experience that I went through. And also, one of my previous videos, I talk about why labral tear hip surgery often fails. Like, you do not want that. Okay, so like I totally recommend you watch that video. That is a really important video, right? I won't go into it here. Anyways, but thanks very much for watching. Hope you found this video interesting.